something in a second. Hi everybody, Josh Bycer here from GameWisdom.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, we are currently getting ready for the live stream. If you're currently on Twitch, we'll be getting going in a few minutes. Anyway, I'm going to mute our sounds now while we finish getting prepared. See you soon. Hey everybody, Josh Bycer from GameWisdom.com here. Welcome to a special play of Renowned Explorers with the More to Explore expansion. I am joined by Manuel from Abbey Games, and he and I are going to play some of the game today and possibly answer some questions as well. Hi Manuel, it's great to have you on.
Hey Josh, thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem. I guess it's been a while, or I don't think we ever actually had a sit down, but I guess first thing I want to say is definitely congratulations on Renowned Explorers. We were talking in email a few weeks ago, but I really love the game. It was my favorite game of 2015, and it sounds like the game is doing really well for Abby.
Yeah, thanks. I'm not sure how long you've been following the history of Renowned Explorers, but definitely in the early times, it wasn't doing that well.
Mm-hmm.
Even though in terms of response, it was doing really well, not so much in terms of sales.
Mm-hmm.
But we've been working on the road, and I think that now with the DLC, we can be very happy, as there are loads of new players even for the base game as well.
Awesome. And we've been, I know I've been playing it since I think pretty much day one. And it's good to hear that it's doing better now with the expansion. I know you guys had like a little post-expansion challenge. I know the people basically like beat in like 2 days adding more content.
Right, yeah. So a lot more people participated in that than we actually expected. We had the tier set for like 150 players. That's probably what people needed max,
Mm-hmm.
but there were way more than that.
Cool. Before we get started with the actual play, Manuel, for people watching this recorded on YouTube who may be just coming in for the first time, could you tell like everyone, I guess, essentially like the elevator pitch of what Renowned Explorers is?
Oh, sure, yeah. So Renowned Explorers is a strategy adventure game in which you pick a crew of three people to explore the 19th century world with, and these people are very different. So you can pick them from a cast of 20, and then you go on to procedural expeditions where you find treasures, explore stories, uncover secrets, and try to optimize your build so that you can have a strong high score in the end as well. So you can play it either as an adventure, or you could play it as a high score game, or both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the level of interaction, I think, is very interesting. It's one of the things that really drew me to it, with all the little ways that you impact your build and impact playing the game. The captains, then the treasures, and even just what order you go on your expeditions and which ones. And it really makes the game a lot more complicated than what you would first think about when you load it up.
Yeah, so there are a lot of elements to Renowned Explorers, and I think there's a few people in chat who can tell you all about that because they've been taking a long time in mastering the game.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like when new people come in, they look at the high scores of the veterans and they think like, how is this even possible?
Yeah.
And then later on, they start getting them themselves.
Yeah, one of my friends has like over I think like 7,000 high score. And I know it's possible, but there's a voice in the back of my head that says he must be cheating. There's no way he has that high score.
No,
I,
it's possible, definitely. Yeah.
yeah. Before we get further in, Manuel, for the recording and everything, could you tell everyone like what your role is at Abbey Games?
Yeah, so Abbey Games is a team of right now 7 people, and I'm a gameplay programmer, and I also make sure that I read every comment in the community, um, and that's it. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, in that case, I think we'll get started because there's a lot we're going to be talking about tonight. All
Yeah.
right. So we'll do that. I know. Let me just move our little Skype thing down there. There we go. So the first thing I think that's very interesting about Renowned Explorers, and I think what definitely throws off a lot of the new players, is the level of complexity that goes into picking a captain and actually getting your crew. So,
Yeah.
I guess my first question then, especially for people watching this either live or recorded, what kind of strategy or how do you decide the crew members for your particular play?
Yeah, so I definitely say you would start with choosing your captain.
Mm-hmm.
First, before we had the More to Explore expansion out, the captain perk
Mm-hmm.
which is a single like strategic modifier that goes with your character.
Mm-hmm.
Was one of the most important strategic drivers, like it's the most important factor in
Yeah.
determining your strategy. Maybe if you click one of the characters, we can actually see such a captain perk.
Yeah. So we'll do a. I always like to do a random captain and then build it around there.
Yeah, so in the top, like middle to right, we see Captain Perk of Charles, and Charles can actually get better campaign tokens as he goes. Can't see
Mm-hmm.
very well.
Yeah, that'll just be the text. So he acquires a specialist. Every time he acquires a specialist entourage, his campaign token will get a random improvement.
Yeah,
And that sort of reminds me of what Anna was originally like, who I think she would get a random improvement by just completing one of the researches or just by unlocking a new research. And I know she was considered one of the top tier captains. I think she may still be considered one of the top tier captains among a lot of the expert players.
yeah. So Anna and Charles were both top tier because of their Captain Perks being able to uh, blow up, basically.
Yeah.
But actually, before if you play the game as a high score game, your strategy is probably most important in which crew you pick.
Yeah.
But many players also play it as a role playing game, or they just want to explore some other characters or places. So you can start your strategy wherever you want. Maybe you want to visit or beat a specific expedition. Maybe you want to have a certain attitude to your crew.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you want to try out a certain treasure or some other aspect of the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be your first input. But if we start with a captain, then from there it's often possible to pick a good crew.
Yeah.
So if we pick Charles, we see that probably we're going to get a lot of specialist entourage. So that means we need loads of status. We also see that we want to get lots of campaign tokens, which is slightly different from getting lots of status, because campaign tokens can actually start giving you other stuff as well.
Yeah. And that level of synergy, it's definitely a high end or advanced play. In one of my previous runs, I really just maximize. And once you do that, like once you start maximizing like these bonuses, get the right crew, get the right gear, even get the right treasures now, thanks to the ability to choose the treasure perks, it really shows. Like you can really start snowballing the game. But I know that it can also be very daunting for new players because of, again, with all the different system interactions with renowned explorers.
Yeah, so it's really hard for me to see for a new player what how the learning curve is, because I've known this game for so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I definitely have seen people finding that, and I've heard that of friends or other people I've seen playing.
Mm-hmm.
Where would you say yourself that this bump first happens?
I think it really comes down to when you start trying to define a group for yourself for the first time, when you decide not to follow like these two, like the suggestion, and start trying to see, okay, I have this captain now. Who works with this guy? Where's those synergies? Because some of my best and highest scoring plays have been with parties that I just picked, out of the blue, in the sense that I pick the captain and I go, okay, this captain does X. How do I complement that? And I would say another hum, which we'll talk about probably in like the next 20 minutes, would be once you get done your first expedition, and then where do you go from there in terms of, what do I pick in terms of research? Do I focus all on status? Do I focus all on gold, etc., etc.?
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with how well you are in playing the encounter game.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have trouble with encounters, you should probably invest a bit more in gold and should be a bit more on the careful side.
Mm-hmm.
While if you're very confident about your skill in encounters, like the battle things of non-explorers, then you can play way more risky and go to expeditions that give you proper yield rather than are easy for your crew to beat.
Mm-hmm. So with Charles, as we can see with his skills, and this is even like another layer of the game, you can look at how each character has completely different sets of skills, they have different perks, and all this stuff. So with Charles, you can see that his special abilities will evolve around making the party enrage. He is speech based, but his speech is going to be weakening the enemies, making them more susceptible to either speech attacks or, in this sense, making them more weak against physical attacks. So if we look over here at the recommendation, the game recommends you go with Dolores and Hades because they're both physical characters.
Yeah, so not only that, they both have a strong devious aspect as well. So if you choose them, you can see in the top that the shields for devious and for aggressive will grow, and that will give you a sense of what attitude you should use with this crew. But now we're not focusing at all on the more strategic aspect. What this tip system is designed for is that it helps you in encounters, so that you pick a crew which has the encounter rules more or less covered. And also it works with perks. So the perks are the color skills to the left here. You want to spread them a bit. You don't want 3 rogues in your default starter strategy, for example. But it doesn't really help you make optimal use of the captain perk. So in this case, we want to gain loads of status, which makes it important to... well, this is even hard for me, because you want to go to expeditions that grant you lots of status. And each expedition has its own set of challenges, and you want to prepare for those challenges. So I think the Highlands, for example, it's a level 3 expedition which gives you loads of status. And then the Hungarian Fort, which is the level 2 expedition, which gives you a lot of status. I'm not exactly sure which skills you need for those.
And that's always the challenge with the game, is that a lot of your choices in-game are going to inform what we're talking about right here. And I typically can spend a good 5-10 minutes just on this one screen picking my party. So if we look at this, so Charles here, again, he's a hybrid tank. He has pretty good defense both in speech and armor from the get-go, especially as a speaker. I think him and Yvonne are the only two who really start with decent defenses, but he is definitely better in that front. So he's pretty much even in both, but for this kind of party, if we're going for his group abilities to weaken the enemy, it definitely seems like we want some heavy attackers as well to capitalize on the enrage.
So yeah, then in that case you would be going for an aggressive build, which is totally okay. So in chat, one of the veteran players, they say wits and cultural, those are the ones we want to focus on. And that means that we need a specific set of perks, and that set of perks is, I'm totally checking my own notes here. Tactician, we'd like to have a tactician, a beguiler, a quick thinker, and then an archaeologist and a diplomat. And we want to cover as much of those perks as possible. So she's a quick thinker and an engineer. We could focus her on quick thinking. Then Charles is a diplomat, I think. And then a survivalist. And Victor, well, actually we want someone that covers 2 of the remaining ones. So that may be Ivana or Harry, probably, who covers beguiler and rogue. But now we have 2 glass cannon type characters. So that
that can be very risky, I've seen.
So maybe if we switch Hattis with a tactician.
Let's see. At some point I'll learn what all these are, but not quite yet. Now, she's good, but she's also a glass cannon. Let's see, do we have any other... Oh, that's another rogue.
Or a quick thinker would be helpful as well.
I would say that would be another tricky spot for new players. Would definitely be figuring out these perks. You know, which one, what do they do those kinds of things. And we'll see that more. Let's
Yeah,
see.
so we're focusing on a lot on them now, but it's obviously not the design that people are taking these all into account in their first few runs.
Yeah.
So basically, you just figure out like, hey, I'm not getting through this hard expedition. Maybe I should bring a quick thinker next time because
Mm-hmm.
that's what's advertised. But there are definitely some crews that make it really hard to make a good choice.
Yeah. Let's see. Now this is probably a good party. We have with his ability to enrage, it's going to really allow Dolores and Harry to do some damage. Dolores is essentially a second tank with her abilities to pull. She
And it's
will.
not, yeah, and it's nice that you have two tanks because then you can divert, or you have two aggro pullers, which can divert damage from Harry.
Yeah. And with her encourage, she can use that on Harry and boost him, which is what I also did with a party with Earl, and I basically turned Earl into like a little mini sniper. He was just like fully buffed, going around shooting people with his gun fully powered there. Oh yeah, I can see the comments in chat. Um, Plutonium Rooster says I spend way too much time in crew selection, and yet that's pretty much what I do too. I'll spend a good hell, I could spend like 15, 20 minutes on this one screen. There's just so many ways to go with it. And that's one of the things I really love about We're Now Explorers is just this level of detail you get with the strategic and tactical thinking.
Yeah, I mean it's true that a lot of choices are made here, and that's part of the replayability we've been trying to aim for.
Mm-hmm.
That whatever choice you make here, it gives you a way different game.
Yeah. I think this is a. I think this party should be good. Again, Charles will basically be focusing on raging and setting characters up and setting up Dolores and Harry to finish them off. If Harry gets into trouble, Dolores and Charles should be able to take aggro off of them or
Yeah,
aggro off of him. And again, we're going to be going pretty much all in on campaign. And again, that's for those of you watching this recorded, is pretty much because of the captain perk. The best way to maximize your party is you want to build it around your captain and their perk. And if you can do that, you can really start to snowball. Now, the other thing that's new with the Motor Explorer is, of course, we have this new screen. Oh, I can see you've added in. Oh, that's good. You added in that feature over there.
yep.
That,
It was a often a requested thing, and there was some free space there, so we decided to do it.
and I know that you also started down here. I didn't know about this when I first played. Someone said, "Oh, you can choose your starting line." I go, "Really? Where?" And I finally knows it all the way down here. But this is also another way we're going to start off on the right foot. We're going to start with the Viking landing, which is where we're going to get bonus status, or the treasures are going to be geared around that. And that will, of course, give us that little extra boost that hopefully will help us through.
Oh yeah, now I see that on the stream that your cursor is a wee bit off
Mm-hmm.
in the vertical direction.
Yeah. Hopefully, there's a fix for that, or we'll talk maybe off recording about that. Just it's not a huge deal, but I know some people are a little. It's a little annoying sometimes to see. I'm pointing here, but it may be showing somewhere else.
Sure.
All right, but I think this is good. These are the new campfire stories. This, of course, was added in with the More to Explore expansion, and it's another way to really maximize your party and really get more control over the situation. In an earlier play, I turned Ivan here into basically a super speaker with his party, and like it was insane. Like the tank all of a sudden became the strongest speaker in the game.
Yeah, Ivan is a weird character, but that was one way to make him a bit more interesting.
Mm-hmm. All right, I think we are more than ready to go, so let's start.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add to because indeed the campfire feature is meant to find more ways to optimize your builds, but it's also a way to learn more about the characters.
Mm-hmm.
So that way we try to make sure the expansion is good for both role players and optimizers.
Mm-hmm. All right. We don't need a tutorial. Okay, so do we have a tactician? No, we have.
No, we haven't. Yeah, but we. I think we are setting ourselves up for having a beguiler and a quick thinker, but right now we only have a quick thinker.
Do we have? Oh yeah, we do. Yeah. So it looks like probably we want to go down here first. Ooh. Chances are low because we don't have a beguiler just yet. All right. Do we want to go for the 40% or take the given for one?
So usually you want to go for the roll, even if you
Mm-hmm.
have a big chance not to make it. Only if there is a big chance to lose something important like resolve or supplies,
Yeah.
you might want to skip. The thing about these challenges is that even if you fail them, the character doing them gets experience, 2 whole points.
Oh,
Ah,
story of my life with those rolls. All right, we have a cultural challenge up here. We do have a diplomat.
and we probably want to go to the star as well, because stars usually signify
Mm-hmm.
up in the north that you can gain a perk there.
Okay, let's see what we got.
Not always, sometimes.
Your
It's
mixed
sometimes.
crew. All right, well, we got a few tokens. Okay, so campfire story. So it sounds like this is going to be. I think this is a beguiler or a diplomat,
Yeah,
right?
this is a storytelling challenge, which is Beguiler, I think.
All right. Then I think we probably want that to be Charles because he's.
Well, Harry is actually. So if you click on Harry, you see that in his leveling tree, he's able
Oh
to
yeah,
become
that's.
a Beguiler. That's why you want to go.
Uh huh.
Oh, so
But this.
normally Harry would get it through leveling,
Mm-hmm.
but it's nice if we can invest in his rogue leveling tree. So it's nice if.
All right, so
Yeah.
I guess we'll let Harry do it. All right. So Harry is now Beguiler 1, which gives him more speech. And this also means when we come to those challenges, Harry will most likely do that.
Yeah. So the nice thing is that already we've made a choice that a veteran player probably would have made otherwise,
Mm-hmm.
because a veteran player would know that he could get Beguiler in the top one,
Mm-hmm.
which he needed in the bottom one. And so the order in which we visited the first two nodes
Mm-hmm.
was actually better the other way around.
Yeah. All right, so we have to go over here. 60% chance. There's no real negative, so let's go for it. All right, we got our
Nice.
first success on the wheel. Okay, and we have a level up. So here's another part that I know new players can get a little tricky with, is deciding how to build their perks. So as we can see, we have two choices here. We can either go down the diplomat route or the survivalist. And not only that, but they'll also give us bonus stats on the bottom right.
Yep.
So I guess for me, what I'm thinking, since he is going to be our primary diplomat at this point, now he is going to be our beguiler, I was thinking to go down the diplomat route. But what do you think, Manuel?
I think the diplomat route is good because we want to prepare ourselves for cultural challenges, which basically means we need a diplomat and an archaeologist.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't have a specific use for survivalist. Also, because Charles' main stat isn't grit, and I
Mm-hmm.
think most survivalist challenges are based on grit
Mm-hmm.
stat as well.
Yeah.
This is some details about roles, but usually they look at a few perks or
Mm-hmm.
one perk, and then a stat. Usually a stat that goes with that perk.
Mm-hmm.
So an athlete would check on attack power as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that means that Charles isn't a super good survivalist with its base stats,
Yeah.
but he is super good diplomat with his base stats because
Mm-hmm.
that goes on speech power.
Yeah. And that's what I'm thinking too. All
But
right.
one of the veterans is suggesting that survivalist is pretty important in the Andean
Yeah.
adventure. So now I don't know anymore.
I think I'm going to go Diplomat, because I know from my play, I know that there are trinkets we can buy that will give us survivalist bonuses too.
All
So
right.
I can always synergize and make use of that as well. All right.
So we'll see later that items are indeed a good way to improve upon perks.
Yeah. And we've unlocked Charles's first special ability, which is his. Let me see. I forget? Is this an AOE or is this just a one-person range? Point about 3 tiles.
Oh,
Oh
that's
yeah,
an
it's
AOE.
yeah.
Yeah.
So of course it's going to be his devious attack. So this will probably be a good starting attack, and then Harry and Dolores can follow with aggressive base attacks. So from here, there's pretty much no contest. We won't go down here. We have a wits and possible treasure. Okay. Now I know if we had a tactician, we would get a special situation here, but we'll still get something. And so this is the new thing. You can now, in previous, before the Mortar Explorer, each treasure would have a modifier or a bonus assigned to it. But now, with the expansion, you choose what that bonus is. And I really like this change because it just makes it a lot easier to just synergize with your party.
Yeah, that was indeed like the main idea here. We wanted treasures to have a way lower chance to disappoint players that didn't have a plan with treasures.
Mm-hmm.
Hence the choice.
Yeah. So here's where things get a little bit interesting, because I know with some of these decisions, the Pinkerton recommendation is usually a good starter one, but I've had times where once I decide to go all in with a strategy, that I ignore Pinkerton and just choose something that works better with the party.
Yeah, so
So,
Pinkerton is really there to because the one thing that this feature may have made worse is that there's like analysis paralysis. So there's a new choice, and for new players, that's an extra choice on top of all the choices you already have to make. And Pinkerton just takes away that choice stress, hopefully. But we know that Pinkerton isn't very good at suggesting the right thing.
yeah. So for this choice, we have an option between getting 3 collect and 3 campaign, or getting 1 treasure hunt. And for those of you watching this record or don't know, the treasure hunt is basically the stronger version of the collect token. It gives you a lot more gold on top of it. So this could be another tricky thing. Do we go for more of an all-around with collecting campaign, or do we get the stronger treasure hunt token?
Yeah. So in this case, our strategy would synergize a lot better with having some more campaign tokens.
Yeah.
Even though the treasure hunt token also gives you some campaign.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was thinking about doing this one too. So go for this one.
Yep.
Yep.
And normally, like a super token or whatever you would call it, is worth a bit more than 6 tokens. Oh, well,
Yeah.
it gave you the wrong token, didn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it's better for us because it gives a lot of status, but
Yeah.
that's a bug.
Let's go. At least we caught. It seems every time I do a live play with a developer, we at least catch one bug at some point during the play. All right. Let me see. I know we have our little campfire down here. I'm just looking at what our options are. All right. So we'll do the campfire story. All right.
Yeah, so this is one of the new features as well.
Alright, so with this, we can choose 1 card to play, and we can only choose 1 card per expedition. So these down here are the generic ones. Everyone gets those at the start. This is I guess, a moderate card. I got this through the booster pack, and then this is a rare card. This is exclusive to Charles.
Yep.
So I'm thinking, since we have Charles's story to begin with, I was thinking we start with Charles. What do you think?
Yeah, so cruise stories are in general more powerful cards, so and they are a lot more fun as well. So you should probably mostly play a cruise story in your first game. Although the blue card, which one is that?
Ultimate Athlete.
Yeah, so that's a card that's designed to work better the stronger you are. In
Yeah,
this case, it works better if you have a really high level athletes.
yeah,
So we definitely want to start with the
yeah.
crew story.
I'm going to keep this so that it will show up in the pool next time, so we don't lose it and it becomes hard. And also, again, like with like fleshing out the characters, you can see their whole little animation. Like Charles just sitting there drinking his little tea, and she's just exercising the night away.
Yeah, we ended up making a new animation for every character, even though we planned on having them stand near the campfire because it was just way cheaper.
Hmm.
But this looks so much better.
Yeah. All right. So Charles is going to send a letter directly to the Queen. All
Yeah. So
right.
some people in chat are suggesting we could also have gone for the simpler choice of just gaining a bunch of study
Yeah.
tokens because we don't gain a lot of study otherwise. So
Hmm.
it's more of a compensation strategy.
Hmm.
We'll see how this works.
Yeah. Okay. He'll say he does all for the glory of the British Empire, and he'll insult the French too. All right. Charles finished the letter, sends it, and hopefully that will pay dividends as time goes on. All
So
right.
here's mine.
So we have two options. If we go down here, we basically get a freebie. Actually, we get two freebies from here to the area and won't cost us any supply. If we go down here, we only unlock two of the Fog of War. I'm thinking go down here for the free status and then go here for the freebie, and we basically can see what everything is over here and then make our decision from there.
Yeah, usually the freebies are kind of important to use, but in
Mm-hmm.
this case, if we end up early on the end node,
Mm-hmm.
um, we haven't used that freebie because we are on a not important node,
Okay.
and we also we make a route which makes it impossible to visit every node without revisiting a single node.
Mm-hmm.
And what veteran players often do is try to visit every node, even
Mm-hmm.
though you're out of supplies. This
Yeah.
is, of course, possible, but quite dangerous.
Oh yes, it is. And for those of you watching this recorded who haven't like paid attention to the game, once you run out of supply, every time you move to a new tile, you'll get a random debuff for the remainder of the expedition. So it can hurt you if you're not careful. Like with my Ivan example, when he got his super speech, he got the debuff that lowered his armor, which armor ties into his speech. So it just basically gutted him for that entire expedition. All right. So yeah, and the chat is also saying to explore. So you think we go over to the one to the left here?
Yeah, you can even explore the empty node because normally
Yeah.
the empty node has a danger of not having anything, but on the first expedition, it usually ends up being a really good
Mm-hmm.
secret node.
Yeah.
Node.
So what you think we should go here, or should we go to the empty one first?
I think the empty one would really help us a lot.
All right. All right. And so here's the decision. Do we go for the secret knowing we need the status? Or do we go for discovery and try to round out our tokens for this expedition?
Yeah, let's pick up a bit of research
Mm-hmm.
so that we can go into the history research tree, which will definitely help us gain status in the long run.
Yeah. Okay. And we have a token over here. And I think we're going to go over to this one since we have an athlete and a survivalist. So we have two of the three. Alright, let's see what we got. Alright, 77. I failed like 90 and up challenges. I actually won a 25%, so I know always to look those results in a gift horse in the mouth there. Alright, so I'm thinking we go down here and see what we unlock. Because we are about to run out of status. Oh, I'm sorry, run out of supply. Alright. She's a glutton. And we got a lobbyist. Alright, but we ran out of supply, so we're about to get hit with speech defense. Not the worst one. It's annoying, but at least it's not attack on any of them. So, here's where we're at right now. We can get free supply right here, but we won't really be able to maximize going. We have to go left and then back, so we may just use that bonus supply up. So, do you think, Manuel, that we go down here, take one more hit, and then get the supply, and then work our way to the right?
Definitely get the hit, because an encounter will give us lots of experience, and we're going to take some hits anyway.
Yeah.
And this way we can still go an efficient route.
Alright, so this is our first encounter for this play. And again, this is just like another layer of the complexity around now Explorers. Besides exploring, we have this whole tactical layer for players to learn. And I know this is where a lot of players can also get slipped up, with learning the emotional status and then seeing what to use on these enemies. So, here's where we're at here. If we start with Charles's devious attack, we will end up with a negative. But we may be able to push out of it with just pure aggressive punching these guys. Or we could just start aggressive and let things go.
So I think you've got this one in the pockets.
Yeah. I think with these two heavy guys, let's see. Yeah, let's just... Now, they do want us to try and end friendly if we want to get the bonus encounter. Can we even do that with this party? That's the big question. It's going to be hard. I think I'm not going to focus on that, but normally I would try to focus on getting the best bonus for these encounters.
Yep.
So,
yeah, it's always a trade-off because it's going to make your encounter a bit harder.
Mm-hmm.
The first expedition, you should usually try to get the bonus, even though it's out of your expertise.
But Harry here being really good with both both enrage and impress, he can sort of play around that. And I know this guy, no matter what we do, he won't be able to finish us in one hit. So, I think what I'm going to do, this is one, I'm going to hedge my bet and do 2 friendly attacks. That will get us to friendly. Now, even though it shows he may have a sliver of health left, there's always a chance to get like a slightly higher roll. And I know that sometimes led to clutch moments when I play. Alright. Got our status. We took another hit. Harry loses speech power. Annoying.
Yeah, that's pretty important. Well, even we can still go aggressive.
Yeah.
So what someone else is mentioning in chat is some abilities have actually become stronger the longer you don't use them. So that's an expert tip.
And
usually it's the case for area of effect abilities.
Yeah. And some characters get bonuses for being in specific emotional moods when they use their skills. So you can see Dolores, her Primal War, which we're about to unlock, gets stronger if she's confident or enraged. Alright, so here's another bit of a decision here. Do we go for Athlete 2 or Quick Thinker 2? Athlete 2 will synergize more with how we're building Dolores to be an aggressive tank, while Quick Thinker would be useful for those specific challenges.
Yeah, I think we should just go for Quick Thinker and follow our plan.
Okay.
But I'm not sure how many athlete things we will encounter.
Yeah, I know there are several items and specialists. But I think it's harder to get Quick Thinker, if I remember right. I know some of the items are a little bit more expensive for that, so I think you're right. We'll go for Quick Thinker. and then we'll probably use items or specialists to round up with her athlete.
All right.
Okay, her first skill's unlocked. Everyone has also leveled. Oh, wait, Harry hasn't leveled up yet. He should level up by the time we're done this expedition. So we get our free supply. So we're back in it. Come over here. Charles insists on doing it himself. Alright, let's do it. 54.
So this is actually a place where a character trait actually gives you less choice than normal.
Alright. So down here, we get more. There we go, more campaign. And so here we go again with trying to make this decision. Let me just move this over here. So we could go up here and end the expedition, or we go down here. We'll take. We'll hit this. We'll probably take another hit, but we'll get another encounter. I'm thinking we go down here.
Yeah, let's just do it. We can still pick up some debuffs.
Yeah.
It also depends like on how bad the debuffs are that you already have. And since our party can be aggressive, the minus speech on Harry is survivable.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of nasty that we have speech defense debuff, I think, on Charles.
Yeah. Ooh, that's gonna hurt. Alright, so we could start off. Now this just, let's see. This doesn't get any bonus, but it is a good AoE. This will give us the advantage, and we can then really just play around that. So here's where we can make another choice. I could AoE again, or we can just attack and start building up our aggression, which I think is what I'm going to do. Again, love like all like the little animations you have for the different characters. Okay, I think I moved Harry in the wrong place, but that's alright. These guys won't be able to do anything. What I should have done is didn't move Harry first and sent him over here and wiped him out. But starting out, it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Yeah, so usually expert strategy is to make sure that in every turn you take out a group so that it can hit you back.
Yep.
It usually means focusing your entire party on one side of the map.
But starting out, it's not going to punish us too badly. But if this was like a 3 or 4 star expedition, that would be a pretty big hit. Especially since our resolve essentially is our lives. Okay, Harry leveled up. We took another hit and loses armor. Alright, so we have another big decision here. Do we go for... Oh, actually, no, we don't, because he already has Storyteller, so it doesn't make sense to go down here. We'll just go for Rogue. Harry gets his Piercing Shot, which is a very powerful ability. I've used this to just clear house a few times.
Yeah, it's really strong, especially when you combine it with focus and wait a few turns, and then some right emotion buffs. You can finish entire groups in one.
Yeah. All right.
So how confident do you feel about your speech debuffs?
Oh boy. Let's see. We don't have any speech. We don't have speech defense. Now this party is pretty high attacking, so in theory we should be able to knock most guys out before they get a chance to do anything. I think I may want to roll the dice one more time, go up to here, and then finish up the expedition.
Yep, let's do that then.
Get a little bit more status. What's our hit? Speech power. It's annoying, but I'm mainly going to use that for the AoE. Alright. I'm going to wrap it up here because we've taken a lot of hits. Alright, who are we going up against? Is it the... Okay, it's going to be her.
So, one piece of detail is that every starter expedition only has 2 options for the final boss of it. So I'm not actually sure which ones were the options right now, but Cassandra is one of the two.
All right. So here's another bit of expert play that new players may not know about. Is, as you can see up here, if we end this friendly, we're going to get a bonus. If we end it aggressively, we're not going to get it, and we may suffer. So this is going to be a tough party to end friendly. It's possible. Is this strong enough at this point for a kill? No. I'm thinking I want to go to the left, deal with these guys, let them come to me. That'll give my AoE a turn to charge. Let's see. Can I? Oh, I can kill him. Will Dolores be able to get a hit? Alright. I think I'm going to just kill this guy. Like that little noise he made. And then we'll sort of work our way back up to friendly. Huh. And there's that little extra going in. So, I think I'm going to spend the turn. This is another bit of an advanced thing. I'm going to make Harry confident. This is going to boost his attack, so that if we do run into trouble, he should be able to just wipe the floor with these guys.
One note is that it's harder to get a friendly reputation out of a battle that you started aggressive.
As you can see up here.
Yeah. Well, it's not only that, but it's when you've been aggressive once or twice during a battle, it's really hard to end it in a friendly way. But the other way around is easier.
Yeah. Okay. Again, Harry being our glass cannon high damage, even though his speech has been debuffed, it's still strong enough to one-hit kill these guys. And while I'm going through this, that brings up a good question I want to ask you, Manuel. Some boss encounters have basically endless minions, and others don't. I was just wondering, what was the decision behind that?
Good question. So I haven't designed battles in the earlier expeditions, only in the new ones from War to Explore. So I wouldn't know the answer for sure. I do know that our philosophy on how good encounters work changed over the course of design. So it may just be our philosophy on design at the time. But some battles are definitely different. So the Titan Ape, for example, even though he isn't a boss, has lots of reinforcements to make. Yeah, and that's just a design that you have to take care of the Titan Ape, and you have to be able to fend off the other monkeys.
Yeah.
And it also has the theme of these monkeys jumping on your back and making your life hard.
Alright, so I have 4 and 1. I'm trying to think if I want to kill these two guys aggressively and see if I can work my way to friendly on the last two. Because I'm not going to be able to... Actually, this is strong enough to kill. It's not going to give us friendly, but it won't give us more aggression points. Alright. I know she won't be able to kill. This... I think I'm going to take the aggression here. And I'm going to see if I can work my way back. That's a good one from chat. Yolson says, still baffled that the Necromancer doesn't have respawning minions.
Yeah, we were brainstorming about doing a reanimate ability for her, which would have been the most awesome solution. But I guess that extra spawning minions would be the next best thing.
Alright. Okay, so now we have the tough part. I need to get enough friendly to boost this back. As long as we can hit everyone with friendly attacks, it should work. But it's going to be close, I think.
Yeah, they're noting in chat that it's going to be hard. Because the way you end a turn, it also counts for the number of reputation points you build up for an encounter. So you've been aggressive a few turns. that really counts.
Okay, so 6-3. If we switch the mood, it should work. Okay. And another thing, I usually, when I'm trying to move the emotion around, I'll let the weaker speech attacks go first, just so we can get extra of that specific emotion.
Sorry, what do you mean?
I let Charles go first with his try to impress, rather than Harry's impress.
Oh, right, so that you don't finish her off.
Yeah. So it's 10-5. It hasn't updated yet, but it should in a second.
Yeah, that UI is a bit slow.
But we have moved over. I don't think we're going to be able to finish her this round. It's going to be close. And even if I finish her deviously, it should still be enough to keep us on friendly, because we build up 12-1. So if this goes over, we should still be good. Ooh. So close. So she's going to get one more hit in. But I don't think she's going to be able to do anything. There we go.
Yeah, you should just be careful that Charles was impressed, so he would get extra damage.
Mm-hmm. Oop, and we got our first miss, but doesn't matter. We should still be able to get this. If all three miss, that'll just be hilarious. There we go.
Oh, missing is actually only possible if your character has a small or half mask for the ability icon. So Harry can't even miss his...
Alright, so we got speech permanently increased by 1. Okay. So we have 3 points, and this will determine what... It'll infer on what treasure we get. If I remember right, this is going to be a research one, this is going to be a collect, and this is going to be a social?
Yeah, you can actually try it out and then see if you like it. So if you pick the last one for it, or I'm actually not sure, maybe we changed that. Sorry, yeah, but this is a good one anyway.
Yeah, this is the one for campaign. Okay. So here is another bit of an interesting bit with these perks. I'm sorry, with these treasure modifiers. So, +1 encounter at the end of each expedition for each level of Beguiler. So we really only have a level 1 Beguiler, which could probably get more. Or +2 campaign at the end of each expedition for each level of Diplomat, which we already have 2. And of course, because Charles's perk synergizes with getting more campaign tokens, this seems like Pinkerton is right this time.
Yeah, I'm not even sure. Maybe the second option, which is more boring, might be even better. But it's definitely less fun, but it might be even better. I haven't done the maths in this case.
So what do you think, chat? Should we go for the status or go for the +2 campaign? It'll probably take like 5-10 seconds.
So you notice that this is also a place where you can definitely call your strategy, because if you don't have a good diplomat right now, you can make a plan for getting better diplomats. It might even be worth it to make a secondary diplomat.
Yeah, for each level of diplomat. So if we go either all in with one character or we spread the diplomat perks around, we can really clean up with some campaign. I think this may be the best, especially because of Charles as our captain and that synergy there.
Yeah, and it's more fun because every expedition will get some bonus campaign.
Yeah.
But we'll have to focus on making really good diplomats.
Yeah.
Also, it will make Pinkerton more happy.
Yeah, and that's always important.
Yeah, this gives you a reputation in the background.
All right. So. Okay, yeah, we know the drill. So this is the other part that I'm sure can overwhelm new players, is this area, because there's a lot we do here, and there's a lot that can really, again, infer on subsequent plays. So we have, of course, the options to spend insight up here. We can use research, and of course, we can buy new gear and entourage members. So, I guess for you, Manuel, what do you normally do once you get back to the map screen?
Yeah, good question. So in the start, it was kind of hard to decide what to do, but then we tried to make some changes so that you can do it more in an order. For example, when the game first came out, it cost you status to upgrade your item shops where you spent your gold. And that meant that you had to spend your status in two places right at the start of the game. So we changed that to using gold for item shop upgrades to make it more easy where to spend your
Yeah.
thing. So what I usually do is I first look at my research tree, then at my entourage, and then at my items. But ideally you have to go around between them to find your optimal strategy. In this case, I think we should check out the research tree first to see what the history tree does. So we can only unlock 2 trees right now, but the right one is the right one.
Yeah,
because it will help us with status and campaign.
Yeah. This would be good if we had a scientist or we had someone with those 3 perks or going down one of those 3 perks to begin with. But we're not really for this party in particular, it's not really going to suit us. But history here, because we're going to be getting entourage, and the bonus again for being able to quickly go up the entourage halls, this would definitely be the clear choice.
Yeah, so definitely unlock that one. Then before you select the next one, we'll see that the left one, the historians, gives you a free lobbyist. But lobbyists actually gain more expensive the more you have.
Yeah.
So we would do good to first buy a cheap lobbyist and then use this upgrade to get an expensive lobbyist. So that will be a better sequence. So sometimes sequencing matters, or actually quite often sequencing matters in this world map. So now I think we should go to the entourage shop and see which specialists we got.
Okay, and this is another big deal. And again, it's just another layer that lets you synergize with your party. So we got some pretty good ones to start with. It's always good to have those that give bonuses for ending encounter specific ways. So I think Amelia may be the best one for this party. What do you think?
I think so, yeah, because she gives a campaign, but it does mean that you'll focus on going aggressive. So you should avoid ending encounters devious.
Yeah.
Like most.
Okay. And now he gains gold on top of campaign.
Awesome.
And then I think we'll unlock level 2 and see what we can possibly get. So.
Yeah, I think this one's clear. We should take a champion Vasilisa.
Alright, so escape artist or reflex. Yeah, so we'll definitely, I think we'll give that to Dolores. She already knows this. And now we get more status on top of our campaign. Now, do we want... I don't think it makes sense to upgrade the Entourage Hall again, because I don't think we're going to be able to afford the 3rd specialist.
Yeah, I think we should at least buy a single lobbyist right now.
Now, we can go back here, and we can get this.
Yep, let's go for that one. And now we don't have enough research. That was one disadvantage of going full on status. And that's actually bad about this tree, that if you don't finish it in your first run, you'll lose that extra supply capacity which you get on the bottom one. the earlier you unlock that one, the better.
Definitely. And I don't think this party is really built for getting more science or more research tokens.
We might spend one to get that extra research because, yeah, we should actually do that because
Yeah.
we'll gain a free insight.
Okay.
Because the right one gives you one free insight for now and one later. But what are the other ones?
Plus campaign for entering an encounter, or gain one extra token when you spend insight.
I think actually the token one, the campaign token one, might be really good for us.
This one, writing history?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too. We're going to go heavy into fighting. This will just be another way of getting bonuses from that.
Yep, that's true.
Okay.
Well, even if you've managed to avoid the fight somehow, you will still get the tokens. That's nice.
Okay, and now, before we go to an expedition, we should go to the item shop.
And we got new campaign, so we can actually spend that if you want.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because the research gave us extra campaign tokens.
We could go for status from encounter, gold from encounter. I don't think student will help us all that much.
Maybe just another lobbyist, because the earlier you buy them, the
Yeah.
more worth they are.
Yeah,
Not
and
sure. Yeah.
we're right at the amount, too.
Still, we have to get like 100 campaign tokens to make it worth it. But I think we can manage to
Yeah.
get 100.
Especially with this party, too. Okay, so now we come to another tricky part, deciding what gear to get on everybody. Now, not only do we have to worry about our attack, we also have to worry about our defenses. And one thing that I've been noticing is that it seems like speech defense seems to be more important than armor, at least in the later expeditions.
Well, it makes sense because it helps you defend against two different attitudes, rather than armor only helps you against aggressive. Yeah, so I usually mix it. I always make sure that I have at least one armor and at least one memento between the three. And in my first buy round, I usually upgrade my shop once and buy one good defensive item. And what you see is that many of the expert players, they favor defensive items because defensive items help you survive, which is good for your resolve.
Yeah.
They make sure that characters survive, which is also good for your offensive power because a dead character doesn't attack. And then they also add to the stats, which are usually checked when you do a adventure wheel spin.
Yeah.
So Memento, for example, will help you on cultural challenges.
Yeah.
So I think we should give that one to Charles.
Yeah, he already has high speech defense, and this will just boost it further.
Yeah, and he's also our tank. He can pull aggro.
Yeah.
So
and
this is also.
I know what you're about to say. I know one thing I've requested. I'm sure everyone has requested at some point playing Renowned Explorers, being able to just put an item on directly.
Yeah, no, it's a thing that has been requested ever since we released the game, but it's a tricky piece of code here, so we didn't manage to do that, and now we had some time. So let's see what chat is saying about our next expedition. They're all already thinking ahead. So they say we might need an engineer.
Yeah, we could cheat it, I guess, by getting a monkey wrench and just getting engineer 1.
I'm not sure. I don't think we need an engineer for the Hungarian fort.
No.
It makes sense to go to the Hungarian fort. But then someone says this party isn't exactly built for Hungary either. No archaeologist or tactician.
Yeah. Now, do we have... No, we don't have any... Now, we could put a translate... Now, here's where that synergy could come in from earlier. Because this gives us a diplomat, we could put this on every one of our characters. And because of the leprechaun bonus... Here it is. +2 campaign. We could do that and essentially get 6 campaign extra at the end of each expedition. But it's going to cost us essentially 300 gold to do that.
Yeah, I don't think that would be worth it. Like, a beginner mistake is to buy too many trinkets and then not spend enough on your defensive.
Yeah. I think right now, I think maybe we should just save our money for the next round.
Yeah, let's just do that.
Okay.
Let's
So,
uh, let's check what Hungarian Ford has in store for us.
here's another strategic question for you, Manuel. Do you spend all your insight like each round, or do you pool it?
So I tend to spend it just because I'm a bit greedy and I want that extra specialist or research.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like to spend stuff in the overworld, and I get to do that more, and I find it less rewarding to do it all in the end.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that an important strategy, at least before the More to Explore expansion, was to do a lot of saving.
Mm-hmm.
But that was because, like right before the fifth expedition,
Mm-hmm.
the journalists start following you, and you get a lot of extra renown from your token's worth.
Mm-hmm.
And that bonus already started working in the overworld, so you could use that bonus with your insight. But right now, the journalists only follow your next expedition, your fifth expedition, so it makes less sense.
Yeah. So we have three choices. Now, Mali, which was added in after Renown Explorers came out, this is pretty much friendly to the max. If you aren't, this is another point where new players can get slipped up. If you choose the wrong expedition for your party, it's going to hurt, and you may just lose outright. So,
Correct.
even though we do have a rogue, an athlete, and a beguiler, we are not friendly at all. So this would be a trap for us.
Yeah.
So we come over here to Hungarian Fort. We have a quick finger, we have a diplomat, we don't have a tactician or an archaeologist, but we could get a lot of status this way.
Yeah, we have a quick thinker and a diplomat, so that might help us. And then we'll just have to hope for the best with the other challenges.
Yeah. And then we come over here. This is more for aggressive, and we also have nature and technique, which I think is survivalist and engineer.
Yeah, nature is athlete and naturalist, and technique is rogue and engineer. So we have rogue and athlete, but not very strong.
Yeah. And it's also for a lot of research, which is not what this party is really going for.
Yeah, but like it can be bad to focus too much on one research, even though I do it often because I just think it's more fun to max out a single thing. For example, in chat, someone already mentioned it might be a good idea to go for Caribbean anyway to compensate for our lack of research because we didn't do that on the first expedition.
And someone's also suggesting we go to Mali, and we can keep if we keep Harry safe, he could be our friendly cannon there.
But Liort, who is often topping the rankings, he's suggesting we go to Hungarian Fort. That's Chaos Ahanu. Oh, sorry for mispronouncing that.
Yeah, I think Hungarian would be good too. And once you go all in with a particular strategy in Renowned Explorers, generally I've seen it's good to really go all in, like don't deviate from that. So if we're going to go for status, we want to focus on status. Because I've noticed that with like the later expeditions, it really does become harder if you're not particularly strong in at least one area. Unless you get really lucky with perks, you generally are going to be having one strategy. And if you can't do that, you may just get overwhelmed. Either there's too many enemies to take out, or your guys are just not surviving. So I think we will go Hungarian. Now, the one thing that I know that may hurt us is we did not get any supply bonuses. So we're back. We have just the bonus of 9, 7 plus the 2 for being Expedition 1. So this could also come back to bite us if we're not careful.
Yeah, you're right. We have little supplies. So this one, for example, we should save it because if it gives us 2 supplies, we end up wasting 1 if we go to it directly.
Yeah. So I think we'll go down here. Maybe we'll get a bonus. No. Okay, we could. Now this is where things get a little bit more interesting. As you said earlier, Manuel, that most expert players will try to hit everything on the first expedition because the island is generally small. But when you have something like this, it becomes very hard to hit everything. And again, if you take too many debuffs, it can just screw the expedition up.
Yeah,
So,
so the Hungarian fort we actually regard it as our first good expedition design.
mhm,
It's one of the first, or it's like I think maybe fourth or fifth. I'm not at all sure the
mhm,
one we created, but it was the first one that even if you replay it, you still are unsure which secrets it hides
yeah.
because there are a lot of hints. Even though we made better since.
hmm I'm thinking, I'm thinking we go left and then up.
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's see what we get. The Singing Cathedral.
Yeah, so this is one of those hints. It might actually be that the sunken cathedral is in the map, but it might also be that it's not. The
hmm
more hints you find, the more likely it is.
Okay, so these guys will want us to beat them friendly if we to get the advantage, but we do want to be aggressive, which could be difficult.
Yeah,
Now,
cultists can be really dangerous. Also, they intimidate you, which
hmm
lowers your attack power.
yeah, can
I think what you should definitely do is make sure that you either move all the way to the left or all the way to the right, because
yeah,
right now Harry can be attacked by both sides.
yeah,
Oh, but you have a plan with the line attack.
yeah. Let me see. She maybe can this hit them both or hit this whole party? Yeah, I think I can actually wipe these three out in one turn, or
Let's try it
between
then.
these two. All right, let's move them all back. Now, of course, Harry can't use his skill when he's directly next to him, the piercing shot. No, she doesn't make them. Hmm.
Can you hit all three of them with Charles?
I should.
Then you can also taunt them.
Yeah. Well, I'm also thinking in terms of if we go aggressive first,
Oh, right. Escalated.
yeah, and then finish this up, we should end things back on Devious so that we won't have the debuff when these two come calling.
Yeah, good point. You're one step ahead of me.
Alright, so boom. So right now we have the negative, but it shouldn't last. There we go. There we go. Now, Dolores could do this and set them up for next time.
Interesting. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's just spam all our AoEs. We're talking about the Halloween treasures
Oh
in the
yeah,
chat. Do you know about these?
yeah, I've heard them, but I didn't play it right around that event.
It's an event that we posed as a challenge to the community
Mm-hmm.
around Halloween last year. And basically, when you finish that quest line,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really hard to finish it all by yourself, then you can unlock new treasures, which will be in each of your following runs.
Oh, cool.
And they're generally quite powerful.
I think it's very risky to try and beat these guys aggressively because they have such high armor on them. I may just have to go. Oh, I really wanted that to finish.
Yeah, Dolores is.
We are going to have to hope that Harry gets a little extra here, or we may
And so
lose
there's
some
always I think about 5% extra random damage. Oh man,
Oh,
that
that's not
might be
good.
our first resolve loss.
Yeah, unless we get really, really lucky.
So this is a place where you should take aggro into account.
Mm-hmm.
Aggro mostly works through damage if it doesn't work through an ability.
Ooh,
So
come
often
on.
they attack the one who did most damage to them personally.
Mm-hmm.
And since Dolores was the one damaging that cultist, they
Mm-hmm.
take revenge.
Yeah. Well, we took our first hit, but we do get 2 resolve for being an expedition, and there's of course a chance the card may show up. All right, so that's it. So I think we come back up here and maybe get some free supply. Let's see. All right, so we can look in the granary or we look in the houses. I think the granary requires a quick thinker, if I'm right, if I remember.
Okay, your memory is probably better than mine.
I wouldn't count on that. Let's see. Let's see. Uh, oh yeah. Well, quick thinker and speech. All right, 83. Come on. Uh, Yay. Okay. We got our 3 supply, so we're back up. So I think I want to go to this one. We have 2 of the 3.
Yeah,
Oh, 72. Come on, Dolores, do it again.
do it again.
Yes.
Nice.
I'm waiting for the moment we lose like a 90% on the stream. I know it's going to happen. I just have a feeling.
Last week we did a stream as well with IGN Greece,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a 3 rolls in a row that were really difficult, like below 40%, and we all made them.
Nice. Okay, so I think we want to move over here and get the most coverage of where to go. Oh, we got something. Oh, there's the. Is that a gargoyle? Is that a
It's a
Cthulhu? It's hard to
gargoyle.
tell. Okay, so here's the decision. Now, obviously, we want to go there. There's no doubt about it. But do we go up, down, down? Or do we start there and work our way back up?
Yeah, and we haven't visited the lower part of the map,
Yeah,
and
all this.
usually every map has some type of rare node with an extra treasure,
Yeah.
and it probably is somewhere in the south because it isn't close to the start and it isn't close to the end.
Yeah. So do you think we should go straight for the gargoyle and see what happens?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, even though the gargoyle coat will not give us anything.
Mm-hmm. Olsen in chat, DJ Min said that he lost, or they lost a 97% roll, and then Olsen said that's XCOM. Or wait, I XCOM. All right, so let's head down here. Cruise spots are very weird. All right, I'm gonna phone a friend here, and I'm gonna see if you can help me deduce the code, because I have not done this before.
No, I'm not gonna give you the code.
Aw.
No, I'm sorry, because that would basically allow a spoiler to exist on in video form on the web.
Aw.
I can give it to you in private later.
Okay. Alright, because I have no idea what this is. Oh.
It's a mystery.
Anyone in chat want to spoil? I won't say, of course, in the video. Oh, wait, but then people will see it here. Alright.
You can black out the screen for a few seconds.
Oh, that is true. We could do that. Everyone. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, we could actually do that. Just look up the guide.
Because of course spoilers exist.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Treasure guide. And I won't tell you folks watching or those watching this recorded. Where is it? Huh.
um, um,
Let's see. I don't see the solution. Let's see. Maybe it's in a. Maybe I'm looking at the wrong guide. Oh wait, is this it? Because I haven't done this in game, so I've never unlocked the specific treasures. All
I
right.
can't hear you that well now because of, I think, Skype.
Okay.
Uh,
I see it.
well, maybe you should just skip the code for now, because also we won't see the results anyway. We'll only see the results when we reach Transylvania. I think that's too far away for the stream.
Okay. All right, then I'll just. I already got the result. I already got the code. I'm not going to say, but we'll just wrap it up here. And I'll do this off recording. Yeah, yeah. All right. Oh, he got a response. Oh no, they didn't like him. Oh. So Charles is now pissed off. Oh, he got engineer and naturalist. Okay. So Charles got really pissed off because of all that. Let me pull this back up here. So because of this, he gets plus speech defense. Okay. That's not the worst thing to happen. One second, I just gotta move the Skype back down. Can you hear me all right now, Manuel? Uh, okay, 1 second. I'm going to restart the call with Manuel. Hold on. Let me just do this. We just had some connection issues. Let me just call him back. You're probably hearing my little Skype thing there. Is that any better, Manuel? Can you hear me? Uh-oh. Don't tell me we have some connection trouble.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think I might hear you right now.
Okay, can you hear me? Is it good now? Oh, I can hear you.
How about now?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Now we are streaming this. I'm in East Coast United States. Manuel's in the Netherlands, so there's also that connection trouble. Oh, come on. 1 second. Let's try it again. I think we're having some call quality issues.
Hey, so I'm trying it out via my phone right now, so that may work better.
All right, can you hear me now? Is it good?
I can hear you very well. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
All right,
Sorry about that.
no problem. All right, I think we want to go down here, maybe get some more supply. Oh, we got another event. All right, we have a 90% chance. I think I'm going to go for it. Oh wait, I need. Manuel, if I. Oh, I just lost a 90% chance. Perfect.
Oh God.
Manuel, if I share my screen, will you be able to see it?
Let's try that out.
All right, one
Right
second,
now.
folks. Okay, can you see it?
Not yet. Perhaps there's an option.
Unfortunately, I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh wait, what?
Hmm. All right.
Oh yeah, I can see it now.
Okay.
Okay.
All
So I
right.
see that you have lots of options right now, and you can actually go to the rare node.
Mm-hmm. You
We
go.
could try that.
Okay. It's gonna be tricky, but let's see.
Well, we are playing on adventure mode, so
Mm-hmm.
if we actually lose an encounter, that's the end.
Mm-hmm. All right. Time for a mini boss.
Oh, the campfire is available, and we forgot to.
Ooh.
But yeah.
Man, we can do this devious. Actually, we'll win. We'll get a lot no matter what. So
Yeah,
he is
so
weak.
don't focus at all on the rewards there.
Mm-hmm.
You just want to make it through this one,
Yes.
especially because we don't have friendly or saddened,
Yeah.
which are the weaknesses. So definitely make sure that your entire party goes to the left, even if you can hit one on the right. And they're already betting against you.
Oh, nice. Is he strong enough? He's not strong enough to kill. One second, I just gotta move the little Skype thing. Alright, Charles. I think I'm just going to knock these guys out.
Just for the record, I haven't willingly sent you into this super hard encounter, knowing that it's going to be that hard. I usually die on epic encounters myself as well, because I just think like, oh yeah, I know this game well enough, let's just do it.
Oh yeah, I've had that come back to bite me with the Titanate fight a few times. Alright, so it's 3 on 4. These guys have such high movement rating.
So let's see, can you click on the beast before you end your turn?
No. Okay, but...
Oh yeah. Because we have to see whether there's like a special thing going on there.
It's a little hard to see, at least on mine, because my taskbar is blocking.
Yeah, it says something about being devious. So.
Yeah.
Can't you hide the taskbar? Just right click it and then hide it.
Alright. How do you do
Probably lock it. Unlock it. And if you move your mouse away, I think it will disappear in a while. I can't find it, the game code, actually.
Okay.
Because it might be rather important. I'm not exactly sure what the special ability for the beast is. This once playful pup has been scarred by abuse. Saddened sight. Goes berserk when enraged. Okay, we don't want to enrage it.
Alright, so that means we do not want to hit him with any of these skills. So, that kind of... Let's see, how do we want to play this? These guys have lower attack defense. I may want to move to Loris and try...
How much attack does the beast have?
The beast has 23 attack.
Yeah, so at some point I think we want to intimidate him, even though he has a resistance. Let's just make sure that we kill off all the wolves before. Or, well, stay devious if you can.
Let's see how we want to do this. Let's see, maybe... And staying near the beast makes you sad. Okay.
Yeah, so if you stand next to the beast, people say in chat, you will get sad, which will lower your speech power.
Okay. I should be able to kill them with Harry.
Yeah, just be careful not to switch to aggressive though, which you will.
Yeah.
Well, I think you're better off killing the wolf than being improvocative.
One less guy to worry about. and I'll be able to use the devious abilities on him when he gets to us, which he most likely will.
Oh god, Charles, no. Oh, no. Luckily this boss doesn't have that much attack power.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's make sure that at the end of this turn he ends up intimidated.
Okay.
Or it doesn't have to be the first ability, but
Let's see.
and don't enrage him.
Yeah. Let's see. How do we want to do this? Maybe it's going to make him impress, and then focus that. She still has one more turn before Primal Roar is active.
Yeah, we might lose Charles.
Mm-hmm. Unless I can force him to attack someone else.
Yeah, I'm more worried about the other wolf, which can reach Charles. Maybe if you can actually move the Loris in front of Charles,
Mm-hmm.
that might actually help.
Alright, well, this does the most damage.
Yeah, people are considering the pros and cons of having several rares, because every rare gives another treasure.
Mm. Then I'm going to save this for next turn.
Yeah, too bad you don't have focus yet. Oh, don't enrage.
I think I'm just going to have to shoot.
Yeah, just shoot normally, I think, right? Oh yeah.
He'll do less physical attack at least.
Let's see where this brings us. Oh yeah, Ares gonna get it.
Ooh, that was
Nice.
lucky.
Well, of course he's a rogue, which gives him extra grit. Okay,
Alright, not
so
bad.
now you see our characters are getting saddened.
Let's see. Can I get them both? I don't think I can. But this
Too far
is
apart.
back on. I think I want to finish him off. Get him out of the way. And then we can at least focus down the wolf. Or focus down the beast, I mean.
Yeah. I like how the people in chat are considering the entire history of this encounter. It has been changed a lot during patches.
Alright, we now have the advantage. No, we don't want to enrage. Yeah, we might as well just stick with this. Alright, we're willing them down.
Yeah, just keep him intimidated.
That's another luck. The game must be rewarding me after making me lose a 90% I would counter earlier.
No, sorry, it doesn't work that way.
I think we're just gonna have to punch him. I don't want Charles here.
Well, I think Charles has enough spirit to survive another hit, because he's a tank.
Mm-hmm. I think we can get him out next turn. Yeah. As long as we can survive one more hit, we'll win. Alright, who are you going after? Up.
Harry.
Come on, Harry. Huh? Well, Harry dodged 2 out of 3, so he did his job.
One out of 3 wouldn't have been enough. So I think lots of people betted against you.
Yeah.
So it's time to collect the bets.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so our reward. Hungarian mix. Alright, so these two would be amazing if we had scientists in our party. But no.
Yeah, and the thing is, here you would have to choose between being better in encounters and getting more economy.
Mm-hmm.
And usually you want more economy because that's kept by rules of the game, while encounter winning is kept by your skill as well.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily the choice is easy right now. Yeah, and Pinkerton is wrong.
Yeah. So you're saying the +2 to 4 status, because again, we're really focusing on campaign, so this will add dividends for us, basically.
Yeah, and it's more long term. So
Yeah.
Pinkerton is more short term.
Mm-hmm. And let's not forget campfire. Okay. I think Dolores' cruise story may be the best one. Or maybe the etiquette call.
Yeah, someone was mentioning that in chat earlier. Unfortunately, Charles already has etiquette, I think, so it would only give us 2. Yeah,
But
it might still be worth it.
It would synergize with the Leprechaun perk.
Yeah, will give us 4 extra campaign tokens.
All right. And then maybe next turn or next expedition we'll do Dolores. Okay.
So do you? Yeah, sounds like a good keep.
All right. Now here's where we have to make a tough choice. There's no way we're going to get over here and then come back without running out of supply. We could go down, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. We could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and go like that. So what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think we should take risks because the Hungarian fort boss is usually kind of punishing. So I don't think we should take a debuff.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's do that. Oh, come on, 69. Do it for me.
Easy.
Do it. Alright. Okay. Oh, almost forgot. We should level up Charles. So, what should we do? Do we make the group insult deal more damage when Charles has a positive state of mind, or we give it the debuff? I'm thinking the debuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Synergizes better with Harry. Now you've got your first healing ability. Usually a party needs a healing ability of some sort.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to go over here on the off chance that there's a supply. Let's see. Oh.
Ah. Look at you.
Let's see. But will we actually get it? Oh boy. 65. Come on. We need this or it's going to hurt. Oh. Gotta love those moments there. So now we have more than enough to hit this and then come back.
Yeah, I think you're doing a pretty good Hungarian fort run.
Yeah.
Not sure if people in chat agree, but I've never had better runs, I think.
And I've had some cases where I just had to run straight for the exit, though. So we've gotten pretty lucky. Alright, and now for her, Dolores becomes more confident after casting Primal Roar, or Primal Roar adds a debuff. I'm thinking confident. What do you think? Because this party is not really speech-based attacking.
Yeah, let's go with your intuition then.
And now she has another way of pulling aggro. So now we basically have 2 aggros here. I may want to give her armor then and let like Charles basically be the speech tank, Dolores be the armor tank almost.
Yeah. What happened during the campfire event? Because I think you got a follow-up event, right?
It ended and I got these 2 things from Charles.
Oh, I think Dolores and Charles... Oh no, Charles actually hates his fellow crew members.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, this is another very tricky fight. It's probably trickier than the Caribbean, the pirate captain there. Alright, so it's giving us the reward for aggressive, but I don't think I want to be aggressive here. Yeah, she knows what to do with, or it knows what to do with aggressive parties, but it's weak against Satin, which we don't have. So, who is our speech tank? That would be Charles.
So one important thing about the alchemist is she has the ability to stun people in a line, which is really bad if it happens to all three of your characters.
Oh, yes.
So probably you'll want to make sure that only one of your characters gets stunned. And if I'm correct, it's the first ability she will use when you are in range. So right now you're, I think, sacrificing Harry.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit multiple people if possible. Can't hit them all.
Yeah, be careful for the escalated. What you could do actually, because all characters are in the mud, you see that they are in the mud.
Yeah.
If you move to a place where the one out of the mud can only get out, you could prepare for. You can isolate them.
Yeah. Let's see. She's going to be moving.
Oh, good point. There are more to the left.
Yeah, 2. We may be able to. Let's see. She has 0 speech defense. Let's see. How does this do? And this one can be very annoying.
Yeah, if we can take out those first, that would be good. But I'm not sure if we can reach them.
Nah. Harry can almost snipe, but it would put us in a negative point. I'm surprised Harry has not leveled up yet. Now there's more sludge down here. Maybe move down? And more guys can reach us.
Every turn we wait, we give them more time to reconnect as a group. So I think we should either move to the top left and take out that group first. I think at least Harry and Charles can reach them.
Let's see.
Or otherwise, maybe try and focus the boss, but that's might never be a good idea.
Can Harry get a shot? Yeah. I could, maybe we'll do that. Because Charles is our speech tank right now.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, you're doing a good job staying in the positive moods. That definitely helps.
We'll take 1 aggressive hit, but it won't be enough to swap. And we're also going to be somewhat spread out enough. Can she do anything here? No. Maybe confidence.
Yeah, you can encourage Harry.
Yeah.
And I think Harry actually has an impress, which the red cultist is weak against. So that's good.
Oh. No. Weak against terrified. Alright. And now the reinforcements are coming. She shouldn't be able to get us all. Now, that's a good lineup.
Yeah, so next turn we really have to be careful about the stun.
Yeah. Can this be enough to kill?
Oh.
If we do this...
We switch to aggressive.
But we could take 2 of them out.
Yeah, actually that might be a good idea. Except that you would switch to escalated.
Yeah. Now, will I be able to get it back? That's the tough part. I may be able to do that.
If you kill a character with 2 devious attacks, you would.
Yeah, well, I can get it back.
Now, an opponent cannot move through your characters, but they can move through
each other.
Their own.
Yeah.
So,
is she in a line position, though?
I think you would be good here.
I can also pin. No, I don't want to pin her, actually, no. Because then will still be escalated, so think we're going to have to do this. I don't think she's going to be able to get them both. Okay, so things are tense again. Don't move, don't move. Okay, well that's good. That's pretty much the best thing that could have happened there. And that's even better.
Oh, the reinforcements are there.
Yeah. Now, she is weak against Saturn. We don't have that.
And what's her weakest stat? Speech, defense, or armor?
Definitely speech.
Okay.
Now, does this have... Huh. We could use Deride and weaken her.
Yeah, you could actually use impress as well. Oh, does Deride now give her a speech defense debuff?
Gives armor. Let's see.
You could combine impress and then Deride for a strong speech attack.
Let's see. Yeah, that could work too. Oh wait, she's immune to impress though.
Nice.
So that is not gonna work. We could enrage. I could deride enrage.
Yeah, okay. I think that would work.
And that just gives
They
armor.
actually-
Or deride and shoot. Let's see.
Yeah.
Either way, we're not going to switch emotions.
And Harry is still determined, so that's great.
Yeah. She won't be able to hit Harry. Huh. She has down to 15 armor. Huh. Still does more damage to enrage. Alright.
Yeah.
Well, hit her with the strongest. Alright. Question, well, we did get some heal back. Oh, here come the enforcements. So this is one of those fights that you do need to try and focus down, because you're just going to keep getting more and more people. Now the good thing is that Harry is strong enough that he can pretty much one-hit kill these guys.
Yeah, so that might be a reason to still take down the reinforcements first.
Yeah. Let's see.
Because the real danger here is that if you get stunned with multiple characters while the reinforcements are upon you.
Yeah. But let's see, I think that's back.
We'll make it.
Yeah, I think we may be able to kill her this round.
Yeah, you should try and finish up aggressive, because Ulyssen already noted that we aren't using that free encounter token for aggressive.
If we kill this guy, we'll have to survive 2 hits, but we may be able to turn things over to aggressive. It's going to be tough, though. It's 17-2. What do you think? Should we try?
No, I don't know. Yeah, well, actually we should try. We don't have that long to play anymore.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, what's our time? Yeah, we're just under 2 hours. So yeah, I think we'll let's go for broke here and see what happens. She should not be able to finish them off in this turn.
Famous last words.
Yeah. Ooh. Okay. So, what I can do to give us a little extra, because I know Harry is going to be able to finish her off. There's no doubt about it. I can boost things around.
Just punch. I think because the boss, if you finish the boss in a certain attitude, it gives a great modifier to the points. So you might actually end up aggressive.
Okay.
If you just punch her.
Alright.
Because you don't want to survive another turn in escalated.
No. Definitely not. Okay, 7...
You have wrestle. You
Yeah.
could use wrestle on the... Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong screen with a delay.
Okay. Yeah, I think I better just finish her off.
if you can.
Oh boy. Ooh, that was close.
Mm.
I don't think it's enough. No. But,
Ah, bad. Well, at least you survived.
yeah. Alright, so... we can either get study or campaign. I think we know what... do you think we should go more campaign this time?
I don't know, because the treasure chances also differ between the two.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure which treasure would actually work out the best for us. Maybe Chet knows. I'm sure Chet knows actually.
I'm leaning towards campaign, but what do you think, Chad? Also, for those of you watching this live right now, if you have any questions for Manuel, that we may have like a few minutes of Q&A, ask them now, and we'll see if we can get to them when we're done with this expedition.
Okay, so they're asking us to check the treasure guide, which is a handy document for those that want to be spoiled. And I actually have it in front of me because it's very useful.
Well, that's good, because I didn't prepare at all.
So Secretum Secretorum would actually help us in devious encounters, and it would give several tokens for that. And the other one would help us gain campaign for archaeologists, quick thinkers, or tacticians.
Well, we do have a
So
quick
if we can
thinker.
get the quick thinker one, that would be great, but it's still random. So the pool, the bonuses are drawn from.
Okay.
It randomly draws from those pools. That's what I wanted.
Well, let's see if we get lucky.
So which one was that? The Philosopher's Stone.
Okay, your current.
Yeah, the quick thinker one would be great for the lores.
Alright. Man, I mean, the second. I mean, that will basically pay off almost immediately if we can get her to just do one adventure wheel. Alright.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we got that.
It only works on spins that specifically evaluate the quick thinker stat, though.
Yeah. That actually reminds me of one thing I wanted to ask you about, Manuel. One thing that I think may help, like when you mouse over the specific perks or the specific challenges, it like if it could like pop up telling you what perks those are used for, that may make it a little bit easier to learn. Like what I mean would be like when it says it does better during when you select a little symbol that says better for a naturalist or better for a witch challenge, if you mouse over that, it would like sort of pop up saying which corresponds to X, Y, and Z, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Even I still have trouble with some of them.
Yeah.
So I've added it to the list of feedback that's
Good.
coming out of this stream.
All right. Now, before we start to wrap things up, I definitely want to ask you, especially for new players, about what your thought process would be for this choice. So we have two options. We can unlock the Entourage Hall in Constantinople, which will give us another hall to get more specialists, or we go to New Orleans, that will give us the shop that lets us get items that boost certain emotional based attacks. So for this, like, what goes through your head, like when you're trying to decide? Did we lose him?
Oh, sorry, you're asking me. I thought it was for chat. Well, for me, it would definitely be Constantinople. Not only because you get to enjoy the free new city that we added in patch 17, but also because, oh, actually, New Orleans also gives you a free new city, so that doesn't really matter. But Constantinople opens up the Entourage shop. Oh, I think actually New Orleans opens up an Entourage shop now as well.
Yeah. But from chat, Constantinople, with this team, that would be better. Yeah, so Plutonium Rooster, when you mouse over a technique challenge, it says engineer a rogue. That's what I was thinking. Like when it says like it's a wits challenge or it's a nature challenge, like when you see those little symbols, it would like just pop up telling you what perks would correspond to that.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is they're already in the tooltip, but we could always extend that one. I'll definitely give it to the designer.
All right. So this will actually be a good place to wrap up because we can also show off the new thing you guys added with the last patch. And that is there's a new trinket shop that you get with New Orleans. So this gives... Alright, so there's the plus speech. That would be really good for probably Charles. Armor. And I like how you guys are expanding a lot more of these options to give players more variability of how they build their parties, and essentially more ways to build parties so you're not pigeonholed down one or two specific strategies.
Yeah, right, and it's a nice way for us to test new types of content. So you may find that if you upgrade this shop, there's like some items that do things that previous items didn't do.
Yeah. So here's one, plus 20 speech defense when the mood is tyrannizing. So does that basically cancel out the negative?
I think the negative one is 30.
Okay.
It would only cancel out for this character. But it could make it worth for you to always play friendly, devious.
Yeah. And so here's what someone was mentioning in chat: the new item, the Haggler's Pot, is that's a very cheap way to get a quick thinker perk. So this would be really good for Dolores, and we can really synergize that. Now, let's see. So with research, you're thinking we should probably try and get this exploration records?
Yeah, but it will be really hard.
Yeah. We'll probably have to...
spend some insight. Yeah, that's a bad thing, because we actually want to spend all our insight on campaign tokens.
Actually, I mean, we can... Let's see... Oh, actually, let's go here first. Plus 2 campaign... Yeah, so like this is a perfect example of what I was thinking. Like, if you mouse over like the little symbol here, it would tell you what specific perks those are.
Oh, right, yeah.
Alright, so it's... Yep.
Maybe if you upgrade this one twice, I know that Specialist 3 will have a nice option for you.
Okay. Yep, so this would be pretty much perfect for us. Plus 3 to 5 gold from a campaign.
Yeah, we'd rather have had the one that gives you science for campaign tokens, but that one isn't available.
Yeah. And now you gain research on top of campaign. Not a lot, but still a decent amount. And then just more of this. Oh, here's a question I wanted to ask you, Manuel. How often do you buy more helpers? Because I know some people tell me like to focus more on the specialist line first, while there's also the advantage of getting early helpers and boosting those specific tokens.
So how do you decide between specialists and helpers?
Yeah.
Yeah, I find it kind of hard because the way I usually choose it is different from what might be best. The way I choose it is like what feels most synergy, or what gives the most synergy with my current strategy.
Yeah.
So if there's a specialist that gives me a perk that I need or that compensates really well, then I will probably choose that one, and I'll only spend any remaining resources on the helpers. But I think it might actually be worth it to spend it on helpers in full. But the way it's designed is that you go to specialists first. So actually we should have switched around the tabs on this one. And then spend anything remaining on the helpers.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one. We could get an extra study for resolving aggressive, or we synergize more with our campaign and go more devious. I think
we already betted on aggressive, right?
Yeah. So I think it's just better to go this way.
Even though our next expedition will be the Highlands, and in the Highlands, really hard to go aggressive against the boss.
Oh
But
yes,
that's only the
yes,
boss.
it is.
You
Question.
remember? You
Yeah.
remember her?
Question from chat. Plutonium Rooster asks, how much overtime did it cost you guys to cost the content ready for this patch? Did you expect to reach, or did it cost you guys to get it ready for this patch? Did you expect to reach all the stretch goals for the 48-hour challenge?
Yeah, so a bit of context there. On May 31st, when the expansion More to Explore released, paid DLC, we also started a 48-hour challenge, which is very much like our weekly challenges. It posts, like in that case, almost no condition to a run. And if you got a high enough score, you would deserve medals. And in the case of the 48-hour challenge, these medals add up to the medals of the community. And if the community as a whole reached enough medal points, it would unlock content in the next patch. The next patch being released just today, patch number 17. Now, there were 3 tiers, and they were at 50, 100, and 150 medal points. And we thought like 100 is about what we expect, but people ended up getting over 200 with 190 players participating. So there was definitely people played more than we expected. But of course, we did plan for all 3 the tiers to be completed because like worst case, or actually best case, but worst case on the side of the planning, we had to finish the content for all 3 tiers, and we wouldn't promise that if we couldn't do it. But with all the support from the new players, it was kind of hard to finish all the content in time. I haven't worked on it. It was mostly Marlies and Adriaan, the artist and the designer, and then Rutger and me assisting with various features. But it was mostly the content. And I know that to also fix the most important bugs that came up in the last 2 weeks and do support and do other overhead things in the Abbey, it was kind of a stretch to get everything finished. Now, we don't specifically log overtime at the Abbey. We just generally try to avoid it. There was some overtime definitely Monday and Tuesday, and in the weekend as well. I know Adriaan has worked in the weekend as well. So does that answer your question, Plutonium Rooster?
Well, yeah, I think we'll get a response in like 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think it was a very fun way to do that, to have the community unlock content, because it's a really nice way to gauge how much enthusiasm there is for the game at that moment. And enthusiasm is a really good way for us to decide how much we should still invest in the game. So that might actually be something we repeat in the future.
Yeah.
Not exactly the same, of course.
I think to wrap up at least the playing portion of the stream, well, we were not going to do this obviously, but we'll at least just briefly talk about wrapping up like what we'll do if we were to keep playing. That way, if someone's watching this trying to learn it, they'll at least have a good idea. So one comment from chat suggested we do the Andean adventure because it is more focuses on Devious, which our party does have. And we do have 3 of the 4. And I think I agree with that. And someone also suggested, Yulson suggested to give Charles the wrench so he gets the free engineer perk. Which I think I would agree with. And then I was thinking to at least get enough for the good armor and give that to Dolores so she would essentially be our speech tank. Our armor tank. What do you think about that, Manuel?
Yeah, it sounds like a good idea to have some armor upon somebody. Also, we just want to fill up those defensive slots with better and better items as we go.
Yeah. Alright, so we can at least give her the armor. Now, do we want to buy a better weapon for these people? Do you think it's time, or do you think we can get away with one more expedition?
A better weapon?
Better either the
Yeah,
gloves or
like
the
an offensive item.
yeah.
Well, Harry still is very much a glass cannon, so we
Mhm.
could focus on that, give him a stronger, maybe some gloves.
Yeah.
But you would be pushing your luck.
Let's see. Thanks
Oh,
to
you
Charles.
actually get a treasure?
Yeah, I think that's from one of our. I think that's one of our treasures that's doing that. Is it?
I think it might actually be your crew story.
Oh
You can
yeah,
open
that's
up,
right. Uh,
you can open up the play cards menu in the top right. It's a new UI added.
okay, there we go. Oh, here it is. +1 treasure hunt when a level 2 diplomat.
Nice. That's good.
Yeah. So we do have enough to afford a better weapon, or a better offensive item. I think we might as well give it to Harry, since he's our getting the glass cannon. So we need to have him be the highest damage.
Yep.
And we could spend more insight, but I think I may just want to hold off and see what happens after the next expedition, if we were to keep playing, of course. Alright, and I think any more specialists we really want to get, we could go here, or we go over to this one. What do you think would be the better option, Bobo or Professor?
It might actually be nice to have a level 2 engineer with a professor perk.
Mm-hmm.
How much Beguiler levels do we have on Harry?
Harry is Beguiler 1.
Yeah, so we could make him level 2, but I think for the specific next expedition, you said Andean, we should take the professor. Yeah.
And give it to Charles, so he'll become Engineer 2. And that gets boosted there. Do we have anything else? Do I have enough for one more specialist? If I spend the insight, we could get one more. But do you think it would be better just to maybe buy a few more of these guys?
I think a specialist would actually be nice.
Okay.
Once again, I'm not a specialist.
We could go here. We could get a tactician. A level 1 tactician on someone.
Oh, for the... Yeah, why not? On Dolores.
We'll just need to get the status, though, which shouldn't be too difficult. Considering we've been boosting our... Wow, we've been boosting that a lot.
Looks nice, right?
Yeah.
The rainbow.
It's always nice to see like 4 or 5 things pop up there. So, where was it? Here it is. Give that to Dolores. And we get, we can now choose. Do we want the campaign to gain more status, more research, or more gold? Right now, it's going pretty high up in stats. You think maybe gold would be better?
Yeah, or maybe some science, even though science will reward us less and less.
Yeah. I think gold may be the better option. What do you think, everyone?
The thing about gold is it helps you not lose the game often.
Yeah.
So if you think you are in the risk of losing the game, you should pick gold, and otherwise you should pick campaign or research.
I think our weakness right now is we don't have a lot of gold for gear, and this party I feel is very gear dependent, since we don't really have speech-based synergy all that much. And especially since we only have technically one healing ability, and that's Charles's Deride, and only heals him, doesn't heal the party. I mean, we technically have confidence or encourage, but it's not as good as like a actual ability.
So what I'm wondering is, now that we've played 2 expeditions, I think most veteran players can like judge this game and say how much potential it has in terms of getting a high score.
Yeah.
Or, um,
Don't see this as being a super high score one, but that's just my
well,
opinion.
obviously the two of us aren't going to be the number one explorers.
Yeah.
Uh, but like, I'm wondering which choices the should or what should we have done different to actually have this be a high score game, like an actual top ranking game. Really
Yeah.
wondering about that.
Yeah.
So maybe veterans have some input on that.
Yeah, for you guys in chat, let us know. While we're waiting for them to respond, I have one question for you, Manuel, regarding the future Renowned Explorers. Do you think at this point are there any plans for more like expansion content or DLC down the line?
No. So currently we haven't committed to creating another expansion.
Mm-hmm.
What we have committed to is doing patches until at least August, or through August. So that's how much? Like another 2.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some patches planned for then. We still have to figure out what we're going to put into them. Like, is it going to be lots of content, or maybe just a small bit, and then focus on doing some fixes, or maybe even like some quality of life features. And then we'll still check out how the coming few months will go. Mm-hmm. And then at some point, I hope that we can make like a good call on what to do next. Are we going to focus on Renowned Explorers for a while more, or are we going to focus on another project?
Yeah. Okay. I do wish you guys the best of luck. I would hope that we can see more from our Renowned Explorers, but again, that's going to be up to how the game does in the next few months. We did get some responses in. Yep.
Just to add to that, it's like the expansion has done okay. So, and there's still a large player base. Mm-hmm. So we could definitely work with Renowned Explorers. But the thing is, for our studio to continue, we at some point also have to consider a next game.
Yeah.
Like it's not, and we're a small studio, so we're right now only 7 people, and that means that it's really hard to divide that team. We only have like one designer and one artist, so it's hard to divide that team between a new game and like prototyping, because we don't have an idea yet, or another expansion. And that's the tough choice that we'll have to make in these coming few months.
Yeah. We've gotten some response in chat. One was don't get the beast in the Uncarian fort. Someone else suggested let's see, not to buy an aggressive specialist and to have gone devious. Someone suggested not picking history and try to go faster to get psychology, which would boost some of these wits and get us more status. Let's see.
So choosing psychology would have meant not picking anything in our first round, because psychology only opens up after your second expedition.
Yeah, I've also had times where I held off unlocking stuff. I found anthropology to be really good if you focus on a party that's just going to do a lot of encounters. Especially if you can get this fully unlocked, you can really have some bonuses with the trade or plunder, and then encounter studies and encounter expert.
All right, yeah. I end up never going for anthropology, but it can be really interesting. Mm-hmm. Especially because you get, I think the one on the top right, like it gives you 2 encounter tokens for insight, which is really strong.
Yeah. And again, this is one of the reasons why I bet you guys changed the research around to make all the trees have these very unique options, so that you're not, again, forced down 1 or 2 specific paths. Let's see. I think we have... What is our time on this stream? 1 second. Yeah, we are over 2 hours in. So I think it's probably about time to wrap things up. Yeah, chat's also agreeing about Trade or Plunder being really good. And for those of you watching who don't know, Trade or Plunder basically lets you choose a one of the three ways of ending an encounter, and if you get that, you'll get one supply back. So if it costs you one to move into the tile or move into the encounter, you can basically recover that back. And again, if you can start once you decide what emotion to end the encounter at, or what strategy, you can really synergize with everything to get some massive points that way.
Yeah, that works really well, especially if you can combine it with some of the new cards. The scavenger card is really strong in getting more supplies, not from encounters, but from naturalist nodes or nature challenge nodes. Yeah, I think there are some strategies out there that let you fully explore at least the final expeditions.
And let me see. One other question I did want to bring up on chat with you, Manuel. I know we're definitely not going to get to that in this play, but regarding the final expedition, so Shangri-La and the Lost Island, what do you typically see like players gravitate towards? Like, when would someone do the Lost Island versus Shangri-La, or vice versa?
I think people would mostly gravitate away from Shangri-La. Shangri-La always had the legendary status of being incredibly tough, and at some points also not rewarding enough. And right now, I think the meta game, I saw some notes about that Lost Island is more preferable because it's easier and grants more rewards. I'm not sure what the designer has to say about that, Adrian. I do know that he's changed some things in the patch that should address this. Well, of course, with the Lost Island being a new expedition since the expansion, a lot of players pick that one because it has a lot of exploration in it. And people just want to find out what happens. And we've created the Lost Island, or we designed it to be a replayable expedition more so than the existing expeditions. So it has several endings that you can explore. So I see that being played a lot more. I think it's more fun myself. It's a better expedition than we created with Shangri-La, just because we are more skilled and we thought about it really well.
Yeah, and the chat is also agreeing with that regarding the Lost Island. One comment from chat, Yolson says, we need some way to give balanced teams some encounter bonuses. You are locked in to one mood a bit too much in the way things currently work. I think that's an interesting point. I do agree that you are... One of the things about the game, especially if you're trying to go for the end game and high score, is you really do get locked down to one particular strategy, just because of how it really leads into like the rich getting richer kind of mentality. If you have a really strong beginning and you keep growing, you're going to most of the time win. But if things start off rocky or you have one bad encounter, it can become a little bit difficult to recoup or get around that, just due to how the enemy stats generally go up with each new expedition.
Yeah, so I'm thinking about how to do that actually, but it's definitely an interesting remark about having balanced teams.
Yeah.
Well, because of course we want players to choose a strategy because it's way more fun to know what your strategy is and act upon it. It's more fun than just doing a bit of everything. Will make games more bland and more the samey. But like balanced teams should be a viable strategy, or at least like a speaker team which has devious and friendly.
Yeah.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let me see. How about someone suggested Plutonium Rooster? How about a bonus for finishing an encounter in a different mood than your last one?
It would be hard to make it clear because we would have to keep track of what your previous mood was, and the player would have to keep track of that, or we have to show it. And you could definitely screw yourself over.
Yeah.
I guess you have the easy mood for a boss encounter.
All right. Let's see. I know we are definitely running over time. If there aren't any more questions in like the next few seconds or so, we'll probably call it for this stream. But I would love to do this again with you or with anyone else from Abbey Games, because we definitely had a lot of fun. This is one of those games that really does lend itself well towards like a group atmosphere, thanks to all the decisions and all the challenges.
Yeah, it was nice that there are so many strong players in the chat because like normally the chat is a bit less focused, or sorry, the streams that we do at Abbey Games are a bit less focused on
Mm-hmm.
playing the game and making good choices, and that was the focus right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there was more space for people to pitch in.
Yeah.
I definitely like to hear what people in the chat thought.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, for us, we don't want to stream too often because it can be distracting from just our core activity of doing a lot of development.
Mm-hmm.
But we, on the other hand, we always see how much fun it is, and that like the same people are always there, and talking to like with the community about the game, and with new people like yourself,
Mm-hmm.
like doing a stream with you, that's really helpful as well.
Yeah, definitely. One last comment, Plutonium Rooster said, like the idea of being able to screw yourself over. Yeah, it's very easy, if you're not careful for now, explorers to end up in that position. I've had a few times like that. I think one thing I do like about the Lost Island is the fact that you can choose just to leave the expedition once you've done the first encounter at the force field. So you're not forced into a boss fight. If you don't want to, that is. But then there's always that temptation to go for one more big fight for the renown bonus.
Yeah, it's like greed is an important mechanic in Renowned
Yes.
Explorers, and we've taken that idea from Reyes, our previous game, which is also very susceptible to greed.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically the better you play that game, the harder it gets for you.
Mm-hmm. All right. I think with that, we're going to end things here. Manuel, if you can hold on Skype for like another minute after we're done streaming, I just have a few after questions for you.
Sure. Yeah.
Other than that, I think we're going to end it here. So, for everyone watching this, thanks so much for tuning in. For those of you who've been watching this live, thanks a lot for pitching in and providing some great commentary and feedback. If you'd like to see more from me, you can find me on Twitch under GW Bycer. For everyone watching, especially for those of you on the YouTube channel, if you enjoy the video, be sure to subscribe and, of course, subscribe, share with your friends, and, of course, like the video. Check out game-wisdom.com, where I examine the art and science of games. At some point, we'll talk more about this off recording, but I would love to have you or maybe some of the other guys from Abbey Games on for a podcast. I think that would be a great discussion.
Yeah.
You can follow
Then
me
we
on...
could-
Yep.
Sorry, then we could talk a bit more about maybe games in general as well, or
Yep.
at least genres.
Definitely. Oh, and Rakuzo said also buy this game. I would definitely agree with that as well. I would love to see you guys work more on this. But of course, I'm always excited to see what you guys will put out next as well. Because so far, I love Ruse, and I love Renown Explorer. So I'm definitely excited to see what comes next from you guys.
Yeah, I hope lots of people share it because at some point we're probably going to create a new game.
Mm-hmm.
But let's first see about Renowned Explorers. That's our main priority right now.
Yeah. And for me, you can also follow me on Twitter under GW Bycer to get the latest updates when content goes live, as well as random thoughts from me. And last but not least, you can find me on Patreon under Game Wisdom, and any donations would be greatly appreciated to allow me to keep putting out content and add some new features and stuff to these streams and the site. So I think that's all I have to say. To end the stream on, Manuel, or end the stream on a good note, do you have any final thoughts or anything you'd like to say to the fans before we say goodnight?
Yeah, so thank you as always for attending. Always fun to have you guys in chat. Definitely check out the Game Wisdom website. I think Josh put some great articles up on there, not only about our game, but also, for example, about DLCs.
Mm-hmm.
Like when we were thinking, like, how are we going to do this expansion thing? I was searching the web for how to do proper expansions, and he definitely had some information on that. I think that's how we got to talk about this stream as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, have fun, keep in the community.
All right, great to end on. So, as I said, Manuel, hang on for like 1 minute. And for you folks watching this, either live or recorded, thanks again for tuning in, and hopefully we can do another one again real soon. Anyway, have a great day, and talk to you all next time.